So, in Living Laboratories of the Life Divine, Dr. Debashish Banerji offers an insightful and important cross-cultural discussion about Sri Aurobindo and the mother's vision of the Superman, with that of Friedrich Nietzsche's Übermensch, also known as the Superman or Overman. By comparing philosophies between Sri Aurobindo, the mother, and Nietzsche, Debashish draws attention to the similarities and importance of these three thinkers and gives the position of humankind in the transitory and evolutionary journey of nature. Each, in their own way, are calling for the collective need of humanity to overcome limitations, preventing a greater ascension to and harmony. Being subjects of the modern age, what unites these thinkers is that they all address problems of becoming as situated in modernity, problems that the traditional field of thought at the time had not yet made explicit or confronted. During the times of these thinkers, problems of becoming became more tied to problems of social collectivity and politics due to increasing global interconnectivity, something that has accelerated exponentially in the digital age. What are the social conditions for yoga or transformation into the Superman? This question remains as relevant today as it did in the times of Sri Aurobindo, the mother, and Nietzsche. And in the era of the global village, cross-cultural discourse is as important as ever. While Nietzsche claims that the human will attain the Superman, Sri Aurobindo says in The Life Divine, life has been worked out by nature, and the human, quote, may be a thinking and living laboratory in whom and with whose conscious cooperation she wills to work out the Superman, the God, end quote. Sri Aurobindo describes nature as occupying two hemispheres or two different modalities. Apara prakriti of the lower hemisphere of avidya, ignorance, which wears the dark guise of unconscious nature, and para prakriti, the unveiled force, nature force of the supreme divine. It is the calling forth into becoming of being, of the one being, the only being there is. Once one has established the higher nature within the lower, one can become a willing servitor and collaborator with the divine in an evolutionary journey towards the descent of the supramental realization. Based on the collapse of division between avidya and vidya, the Superman possesses an integral consciousness, able to harmonize the mentally paradoxical poles of the divine as the one and the many. Debashish discusses yoga as a technology of becoming. Quote, it is a conscious yoga that accelerates and quickens the process. It condenses into a lifetime or a few years what would otherwise have taken many lifetimes. It brings the future into the present, end quote. Historically, yoga has been practiced individually, but to hasten the process of world yoga, Sri Aurobindo and the mother formed the Sri Aurobindo Ashram, and much later on, Auroville, which is in Tamil Nadu, India, as sites of collective yoga and laboratories of the supramental experiment. On the nature of collective yoga, Debashish says, quote, we need to gravitate together, unite our wills, form collective individualities. We need to form integral collective flames of aspiration that will be able to invoke that higher consciousness and call down that light, that power to work among us, to form itself in us, to radiate through us in our acts, in our bodies, end quote. As the world continues to become more interconnected and interdependent, we are now experiencing the emergence of the supramental Shakti here on Earth, which is seeking unity, integration, and perfection. This is the age of a world yoga, a collective preparation of willing aspirants in which humanity can realize collective oneness through an integral perfection of becoming. This can be seen as a supramental invitation in which it is our responsibility as humanity to manifest on earth a life divine.
He talked about, and Jonathan mentioned, he talked about how humanity is evolving towards a new kind of being, a new kind of supramental consciousness, He said that we've entered a new age of world yoga, as Jonathan said. And what that is, it's an accelerated process of conscious evolution. And one thing that was really interesting is that he cited a remark from Sri Aurobindo in 1938 saying that a few hundred people over there in India at the ashram over there would not be enough to make this divine life happen. It'd take thousands of people in many, many walks of life around the world that would be needed for that. And Debashish told us, he said, we're all invited to participate in this evolution, which calls for a rich collective existence. And he said, we need to come together. We need to get collective oneness and work towards an integral perfection that includes all the activities of life, and consciously collaborate with the evolutionary force. Okay, so as he was saying that, the synergy in the room, it started rising and rising, and we felt the inspiration and we saw the vision, and we could feel the possibility of a greater future and another wider and richer and sweeter and more conscious reality, and the part that each of us might be able to play in making it all come true. Debashish had that, that power of transmission to kind of touch each of us in our hearts. So Om audiences are not usually noted for giving wild applause after presentations, but when Debashish finally finished this talk, the whole room stood up and gave him a loud and happy and enthusiastic standing ovation. And as he left the stage, and he walked up, the aisle to the back of the room, he walked right by me, and I just couldn't help it. I just gave him a big high five because I thought it was just totally awesome. So that's kind of a quick summary of, the historical aspects around the talk.